Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Small School Districts Association Virtual College Fair. My name is Becca Russo, and I will be facilitating this event today. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/SSDA. So now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. First up, we have Macalester College. So for the other presenters, feel free, you can go off camera and mute yourself if you'd like. And Macalester College, you can go ahead and share your screen and begin.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to find the unmute button. Hello, everyone. My name is Micaiah Resner. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a missions officer and first year support coordinator for Macalester College Admissions. And thank you for joining me today. I just want to make an acknowledgement before we begin, as a tradition that Macalester does, even if we do a virtual events, is start off with a land acknowledgement. So Macalester is located in St. Paul, Minnesota, on the ancestral homelands of the Dakota people, lands of which have been occupied through a history of settler colonialism. But this definitely leads into really some of the most popular questions I get about Macalester, which is what makes us unique. So Macalester is a small private residential liberal arts school located in St. Paul, neighboring Minneapolis. So we're in the metro area known as the Twin Cities, about 3.5 million people here, but Macalester is a small campus of about 2,100 students only. We are located right in the middle of the Twin Cities, really in a residential neighborhood. So we're in a pretty quiet neighborhood, lots of greenery, as you can see, lots of mom and pop shops, restaurants, and parks of that nature, but you're also really close to the metro, just the resources in this area. So you're only about 7 miles east of downtown Minneapolis, about 4 miles west of downtown St. Paul. You can really get anywhere on the Metro Transit line. And part of our initiative to get students out into the Twin Cities to really take advantage of the resources for their academic experience and also their personal life is by subsidizing bus passes, as also reaches our sustainability goals. So we really encourage students as much as possible to get off campus and really just take advantage of what's out there. Some of the things that bring students to the Twin Cities are experimental learning opportunities like internships and research. There's 17 Fortune 500 companies in Minnesota, numerous different research facilities and hospitals for those interested in pre-med track, various different nonprofits and tons of different issue areas if you're really into social justice work. And of course, we're only about 10 minutes away from the state capitol. So for those really just really interested in politics as well, all that is just right here in the Twin Cities. A couple of quick stats about Macalester. We are definitely a mission-focused school. If you were able to come on campus and talk to anybody, students, faculty, and staff, and ask them what are the core values of Macalester, they will be able to ring those off really quickly because it's definitely lived. It's not just stated on pamphlets. So students are really focused in on the focus on academic excellence, internationalism, multiculturalism, and service to society. So a little bit with internationalism, about 24% of our students are citizens of another country. That's including dual citizens. About 97 different countries represented on campus, 76 different languages. That's quite a bit when you think about we're only a very small undergraduate school. All 50 states are represented, including territories like Puerto Rico and Guam. Like I mentioned, just under 2,100 students, just undergrad. About 37% of our students identify as domestic students of color or Black, Indigenous or people of color. And about 16% are first generation college students, meaning they're the first in their family to attend a four-year institution like Macalester. When you think about our values of internationalism, this has been a longstanding tradition for us. We're actually one of the first schools to fly the United Nations flag at our center flagpole on campus. When it comes to multiculturalism, it's really about a commitment to building bridges and learning from people who may not have the same background or shared experiences or even releases yourself. We really encourage students, and it's really by design, to put you in situations where you may be uncomfortable, but you're going to learn and learn from each other. And then talking about academics, I think a question I get a lot of is like, well, if it's liberal arts, then are there sciences? Can I do pre-med, for example? And definitely, I want to emphasize that with liberal arts, we have a wide variety of different academic programs, 38 majors, 40 minors, 10 concentrations. But what really is nice about our distribution requirements is that you actually kind of get to have more flexibility in how you choose classes and when you decide to take them. But of course, those core values do come into play. For example, internationalism do require students to be proficient in a second language, to take classes around US identities and differences from multiculturalism. But of course, academics are really at the center of student life. We have concentration, which are kind of like minors. They're a little different. It just really allows you to focus in on a certain issue area, but across different disciplines, so very interdisciplinary learning. Some of the more popular ones are human rights and humanitarianism, community and global health, Middle Eastern studies, urban studies, things of that nature. Some other quick facts: we have a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio. Average class size is only 17. And as a way to help students transition into college life, all first years are part of a first year course, sometimes called a first year seminar, where the professor of that class will become your first advisor. So at least from day one, you'll have an advisor and somebody to go to if you have any questions. Obviously, the class is going to teach you the expectations of a Macalester student, but they're also going to introduce you to like tons of different resources on campus, from health and wellness to the librarians to just different student services. So like I mentioned, we are an experimental learning school. We really encourage students to get off campus as much as possible. There are 300 plus internship locations in the Twin Cities. This is just a snapshot of one semester. Like I mentioned, tons of different ways to get involved, and we do subsidize bus passes for students that have that experience. It's really great to get your hands on something like this early on, so maybe you can make adjustments to maybe what you want to learn. Of course, internship in the Twin Cities, but all around the United States. We have pretty extensive alumni network, and even abroad.
So we are at 6 minutes. If you want to add any additional information, you can do so through the chat. So feel free. Up next, we have St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Dorman, and I am the admission counselor at St. Mary's University. And I'll let my colleague, I'm sorry, Abby.
All good. My name is Abby Callahan, and I am another admissions counselor at St. Mary's University.
Great. So we'll just jump right in. So we're a liberal arts college, which means if you're not sure what you want to study, that's okay. You're going to be taking classes in a wide variety of areas. We're also a Roman Catholic institution, and we also are a Lasallian institution, which is founded on the beliefs and values of John Baptist de La Salle. He was a Christian brother that believed in equal opportunity for everyone, no matter what economic status you were. Then I'll talk about financial aid. So FAFSA obviously opens up October 1st. That's common for a lot of schools. That's our code on there. Some of the scholarship opportunities that we wanted to mention to you guys are we offer visit scholarships. So if you ever visited campus during your senior year of high school, there's scholarship money for that. We also do art, music, and theater scholarships, as well as academic scholarships. So every student that comes to St. Mary's gets an academic scholarship.
A little bit about our admission requirements. For our admission process, you have to supply us with your official transcripts. We are currently test optional, so you can choose to send that to us if you would like. And then we also have a personal statement requirement. Some optional requirements that you can submit are a letter of recommendation as well as a resume.
And then just a little bit more about our location. So we're in Winona, Minnesota, which is in southeastern Minnesota. We're kind of right on the Mississippi, a little bit before Wisconsin. And we also have Winona State University and Minnesota State College Southeast in Winona. So we're very much a college town. We bring in about 11,500 students in the Winona area. There's lots of fun things to do. There's a Winona 7 hour movie theater. They do $5 Tuesdays, a lot of outdoor recreation opportunities. We're right 2 giant lakes in the center of Winona. We're 2 hours away from Minneapolis, 40 minutes away from Rochester, which we have a lot of partnerships with Mayo Clinic School of Health Sciences, and then La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is about a 30-minute drive.
On our campus, we have about 85% that choose to live on campus all 4 years. So a lot of that is to do to our multiple different living options and dorm opportunities that range from single dorms to apartment style and some more sort of townhouse style dorms all on our campus. And overall, we have 450 acres of our campus all the way up into the bluffs. So within there, we have 10 plus miles of trails, a trout stream, disc golf course, and cross-country skiing opportunities. And we are walking distance to quite a few different restaurants and some stores just down the hill from our university. And Winona Transit is also an option for students who choose not to have a car on campus, and it can bring you everywhere around town, as well as to some larger stores like Walmart, Target, and some local stores as well.
A little bit more about experience. So 65% of our students will be active while they're on campus, whether that be participating in our clubs and organizations, which we have over 50, and then or professional development programs that we offer. We also do study abroad. We have long-term, so full semesters, and then short-term, which are just a few weeks long. RISE is our student activities committee, so they plan all the fun events on campus, and then Student Senate is the voice of change for campus. So getting things spoken out to about that they have concerns about or want to see happen. They definitely listen to the student body. And then campus ministry, if you want to be volunteering in the Winona area or just giving back, they'll help you with that as well.
We are a NCAA D3 school, and we have a wide range of sports opportunities on campus, as you can see listed there. And 32% of our students are student athletes. So that means that coaches and professors are great about working with students on their individual schedules and making sure that students have all the resources they need to manage being a student and a student athlete. We also have 5 intramural sessions throughout the year if you want to just compete with your friends, and 10 club sport opportunities. A few of the highlights in our club sports that students love participating in is our club hockey team, our club soccer team, and our ultimate frisbee team.
And then a little bit more about our academics. So we have over 40 majors. 100% of our classes will be taught by the instructor. 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so very hands-on. You'll definitely get to know your professor. And then the average class size is 20. We do have a new nursing program that we'll be launching this fall, as well as a strong partnership with our 3+2 physician's assistant program with Mayo Clinic School of Health Sciences. So there's always new majors popping up every once in a while. So that will be exciting for us. But that's our contact information if anyone has questions.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, we have Southwest Minnesota State University.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Taylor McKittrick, and I work in the admissions office at Southwest Minnesota State University, or SMSU. The most common question we get is, where are you? We are located in Marshall, Minnesota, and thankfully the location is literally in our school name, right? It is in Southwest Minnesota. So we are about 2.5 hours from Minneapolis and St. Paul, but we do have a lot of transportation to get students to and from the cities if you are coming from, if you're flying in or coming from super far out of state. I am currently sharing with you our virtual campus experience. So this year, we really worked hard to make sure that even if our students couldn't come and visit campus, that they would still have the opportunity to see what SMSU is all about. Even though we are open this year, so we do have students that live on campus, we do have our clubs and programs open, classes are in person. If you're looking for a school, it's definitely hard to kind of get the feel of that school without visiting. So if you are looking at Minnesota State schools, schedule a visit with us. We would love to see you. But if you live far away, we do have this virtual campus experience for students. So on here, we do have small, short, amazing videos. They're about 2 to 4 minutes each about our location, the size of our town, the size of our student body, cost, aid, and what makes us unique as well. So I can hit a couple of those high points. We are going to be a smaller state school. We are still Division II in athletics. And of course, we have all of your mainstream sports, as well as wheelchair basketball, which is very, very fun. But in terms of student body, we are going to be a smaller school compared to other Minnesota State schools. So we have about 2,400 students within our student body, meaning 2,400 students that live on campus and that go to class on a day-to-day basis. So with that, with a smaller student body, we really love that our professors really make those connections with our students. On average, we have a student to faculty ratio of 13:1, and our average class size is 15. So you can still get that really personalized education with a state school cost, which is really awesome. Another really great thing about SMSU is that we have 0 out-of-state tuition. So if you are on the West Coast, if you are, from Iowa or Kansas, you will pay the same amount as a Minnesota resident. So there is 0 out-of-state cost, which is awesome for our students. Our campus has a ton of opportunities for clubs and organizations in order to get involved. We do have over 55 majors available, and you can, hear about all those different things. We list all of our academic programs on our website, so be sure to check those out. Our biggest programs that we do have, number 1 is education, followed by business, and then exercise science is a really large program for us here. So of course we have everything else that you might want to think of as well, but make sure you just check those out. On our site, we do have our campus map as well, so you can kind of see our campus. One thing that is really unique about SMSU is that all of our buildings are connected. So if you've never been around snow before, or if you're a little worried about wind or the cold, every single building is connected so that you do not have to walk outside. We always say it's always 72 at SMSU, right? Because you can go to get breakfast and then go to class and then work out and never have to put a coat on. So it's super great. Our students love the interconnectedness that we do have, and it's a really good symbol, right? Not only are we physically connected, but the relationships that you form at SMSU are going to last you a lifetime. We are the #1 safest campus in Minnesota. We have been chosen as that, selected as that 2 years in a row. We are very proud of that. And then also we have been selected as the #7 nationally, the 7th most affordable bachelor's degree. So if cost is worrisome to you, we definitely will work with you. We have an amazing financial aid office as well as scholarship program on top of our already affordable price. If you guys do have any questions for me, feel free to pop them in the chat and we can go ahead and move on to the next school.
Fantastic. All right. Up next, we have St. Olaf College.
Perfect. I was on mute. Thank you, Becca. Welcome, everyone. My name is Roy Katie Kimball. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am an assistant dean of admissions at St. Olaf College. I've been here for a few months, but I actually went to Carleton College across town in Northfield for undergrad. St. Olaf is one of 2 great liberal arts schools in Northfield, which is a small college town just 45 minutes away from the Twin Cities. It's kind of the best of both worlds. You're removed enough from the Twin Cities to really get that small town college experience, but we also have 3,000 students that are doing recreational activities, research, or internships up in one of the largest metropolitan areas in this part of the country. So St. Olaf is kind of a larger liberal arts college. Like I said, we have 3,000 students. So that means we have many different majors, programs, and concentrations to choose from. Not only your typical liberal arts majors, but also a lot of pre-professional programs like pre-health, social work, nursing as well. We're also #1 in the United States for liberal arts colleges when it comes to sending students abroad. Over 75% of our students will study abroad at least once over their college career, sometimes more than 2 times, because we have a great program where you can put your tuition and your financial aid towards studying abroad. Also, we want you to bring your passions with you to college. So as you can see, 1/3 of students participate in music at St. Olaf. St. Olaf is one of very few liberal arts colleges that is accredited in all of the fine arts, so studio art, theater, dance, and music, but you don't have to be a major to be very involved in ensembles that travel all around the world. St. Olaf is a very residential and community-based campus. We have over 95% of students living on campus, and because we're in Northfield and not the Twin Cities, people tend to stay on campus on the weekends. So there's so much community and activity going on at all times. We also have 1 major dining hall on campus, which means that you see faculty members, staff, students, and other Northfield community members gathering together at meal times to be in community with one another. We also have 200+ student clubs and organizations, and these could be anything from academic clubs like speech and debate, maybe an interest such as beekeeping or sailing, or even something that you want to learn more about or connect to a future career. Also, over 75% of students at St. Olaf participate in intramural sports. You can create a team with your residential hall floor. We are also a Division III school that contributes to the Minnesota Interathletic Conference. So we compete against schools like St. Mary's, Macalester, and some of the other schools that you may have heard of in Minnesota. St. Olaf is committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need, which means that if you're accepted to St. Olaf, we are committed to making sure that you can afford the St. Olaf education. Over 79% of our students receive need-based financial aid. So you would be in the majority of students if you do need a little bit of financial scholarship to be able to make St. Olaf happen. Also, 98% of our students receive some sort of merit grant or scholarship, which is actually atypical for liberal arts school of our caliber. These are some of our decision deadlines. It doesn't really matter which one you apply for. Just the column on the left is the deadline. The column on the right is when you would hear back from St. Olaf about your admissions decision. St. Olaf really wants to prepare you for the next step and your meaning in life. We have an above average national graduation rate. We also place 97% of our students in jobs or graduate schools right after graduation. And like I said, there are so many research and internship opportunities. I would recommend that you check out our Piper Center for Career and Vocation. We have specialists in all sorts of areas such as Fortune 500 business, nonprofits, governmental agencies, really whatever area interests you for your next step. St. Olaf's Career Center can coach you over 4 years to make sure that you get to go where you want to go next and have a positive impact on the world around you. So that's all from me. You can visit us on our website, the St. Olaf Visit website. And I would love to get an email from any of you if you're interested in learning more about St. Olaf. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have University of Minnesota Morris.
Hey y'all, good afternoon, or at least it's afternoon in Minnesota. I am Abby. I am an assistant director here at the University of Minnesota Morris. I'm also a graduate. I use she, her pronouns. I graduated in 2017 from the University of Minnesota Morris. So not only am I an expert in admissions, but I'm an expert at what's there to do in Morris too. I'm also from a really small town. My graduating class had less than 60 students. So I remember what it's like living in a rural area. I grew up with no stoplights. Fun fact, it was the only county in Minnesota with no stoplights. And I upgraded to 2 stoplights in my town. So if you're from rural America, I definitely know what it's like to have cornfields and tumbleweeds. So we are located in Morris, Minnesota. So a lot of the schools, probably other than SMSU, are on the eastern side of Minnesota. We are on the western side of Minnesota. So that bump in Minnesota, we are kind of right inside of that. We're about 2.5 hours from the Twin Cities, 2 hours from Fargo-Moorhead, an hour and a half from St. Cloud. So kind of in the middle of everywhere that you might want to go. We offer bachelor's degrees. So we are a 4-year school. We are a liberal arts school, just like almost all the other schools on this call. However, we have a different location than all of these schools, of course, and we're a public school, which is different than about half the schools on the call today. We have about 1,500 students on our campus, and of course, we're part of the University of Minnesota system. So our average class size is 13. That's really small. I don't know about you, but where I grew up in a rural area, I knew my teachers, I knew their families, they knew me and my friends and their siblings and all of the kind of interconnectedness of a small community. And that truly is what you're going to get at Morris. You're not competing with thousands of other students. Really, you're not even competing with hundreds of other students. You're just working with our staff and our students in a classroom that honestly looks very similar to the picture on the right here in a small conference room, presenting with a small whiteboard. We do have larger classrooms, of course. Some of our intro-level classes are a little bit larger. We are part of the University of Minnesota system, so we're public. We are kind of the best of the combination of a lot of the different schools in Minnesota, being that we are part of the University of Minnesota system. That's something that's huge. We have the backing of an educational institution that is known for their research and their academic quality, but we are much smaller than some of the other University of Minnesota schools. So you get that personal attention and that liberal arts education, which we'll talk about in just a second. We are also more affordable than some of the other private schools in Minnesota that we are most similar to. We have the lowest debt load of the University of Minnesota system, and 99% of our incoming students receive some type of financial aid through FAFSA or scholarships or something like that. Lastly, we are a liberal arts school. Several of the other campuses on this call have talked about liberal arts. And so I want to talk a little bit about what liberal arts means. And so it doesn't mean that you have to be an artist or that you have to be liberal to come to school here. Instead, it means freedom to study many disciplines. And so we have 35 majors and minors, everything from computer science to studio art and everything in between. The goal of a liberal arts school is to make sure that you are a well-rounded individual. If you've ever looked at a job application or a grad school or a college application, you need things like communication skills, problem-solving skills, creative thinking, ability to work in teams, global and cultural competency. Those are all things that are core to what we do at Morris. Not only will you learn them in your major, but we actually have specifically structured education requirements outside of your major to help you learn these skills. So you don't just know what you're majoring in, you are adaptable and you might be ready for jobs that don't even exist yet. A really good example of that is something like engineering or computer science. As they continue to change and as the need for them in medicine and all of those fields like that, that's something that our students are really well prepared for. Students who have a bachelor's degree make $1 million more over their lifetime compared to their compatriots who just have a high school diploma. Students who go to a liberal arts school make an additional $1 million more over their lifetime because they're more likely to start in higher positions, they're more likely to get promoted, and they're more likely to stay at kind of senior level positions because of all of those skills that are part of the liberal arts school. I will briefly touch on, we have amazing research and study abroad opportunities because learning is not just inside the classroom. Over 50% of our students participate in at least one research and creative production or study abroad. Many participate in both. And it's not something where only the top amount of your classmates get to participate in that. It's if you want to participate, we have the availability for you. And lastly, we have a really engaged campus community. We are a residential campus. Our students don't leave every weekend. It's not a suitcase campus. And so if you're looking for somewhere where you're going to have a strong community of people, large enough that you get to see new people every day, but small enough where you get to really, truly build relationships, that's Morris. We have Division III athletics. We have intramurals, we have club sports, we have over 120 clubs and organizations on campus and over 500 events just during the time that you're in school. So there's always something to do. And of course, you're more than welcome to join us in the community in the town of Morris too. It's only about a mile wide. So there's it's not difficult to get across. And so I know this is really fast. If you have any questions, please contact us. We're happy to help you through whatever the next stages are. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. And last but not least, University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Take it away.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm the third Abby on your call today, so thank you so much for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and tell you a little bit more about the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. So we are the largest institution on this call today. We are located in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. So the first college you heard from, Macalester, is one of our neighbors just across in St. Paul. And we are a public flagship university. We're a Research One university, and we are a Big Ten university. So we have a lot going on campus every day, every weekend. There's a whole lot to do. I am one of our senior admissions counselors. I'm also a Golden Gopher myself. I graduated from the University of Minnesota, and I was an out-of-state student from a small town. So coming to the University of Minnesota was a little bit of a shift for me, but it really knocked out of the park all of the things that I was expecting and hoping for in a university experience. We offer over 150 different majors here on campus, 130 plus minors. You can find everything from engineering to psychology to fine arts to education. We really have it all, which I think is really fantastic, especially if you're not quite sure what you want to do yet. I was one of those students, and I was able to explore and try so many new things when I came to college my first year. We also like to create individual communities and smaller close-knit communities within our university. And that is why we individually admit students into 8 freshman admitting colleges. And those colleges have certain major focus areas within them. So we have our College of Liberal Arts, our College of Science and Engineering. And the way that students actually go about applying is they actually apply into one of these colleges. So as you're thinking about what you might want to study, and as I said, it's okay to be undecided, you can take a look at our majors.umn.edu tool to just explore all the different things you could possibly do with something like business or something like STEM. There's a lot of different things that we offer as majors, and some of them you may haven't heard of before, and I think that's really cool. So definitely take a look at that. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go over every single one of our colleges, but I do want to highlight 2 different colleges that we have here on campus that I find really exciting and have a really good offering of majors for you. The first one is my own college. I actually graduated from the College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences, also known as CFANS. So if you are interested in things like sustainability, plant science, maybe you want to be a veterinarian, maybe you want to work with wildlife, we have a really great range of options in this college for students who have some of those types of interests. The College of Food, Ag, and Natural Resource Sciences is actually our 3rd smallest college on campus. So we only have about 2,000 undergraduate students in this college, 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So a lot of really good aspects of kind of the private college community in a public university and a land-grant research university. The other college we have is our College of Design, which is our 2nd smallest college on campus that I like to highlight because our design programs are really fantastic, really innovative. If you want to study fashion design, graphic design, architecture, all of these things we have available to you. And both of these colleges, both CFANS and the College of Design have really amazing hands-on studio and lab components, and especially kind of in those individualized formats that a lot of students are looking for. So if you want to work in greenhouses, if you want to work in a fashion design studio, there's a lot of really great opportunities right here on our campus to do that. The other thing that's really neat about the University of Minnesota Twin Cities is we have both what I call types of campuses in one college or one university. So we have the St. Paul campus, which is going to feel a lot more like some of the private colleges that you have on the call here today. St. Paul campus has our greenhouses, it has our design studios, it has more green space. So it's going to feel kind of like that small private college feeling. We also, of course, have our East Bank and then our West Bank campus as well, which is right next to downtown Minneapolis. So if you're looking for that really big, hustly, bustly urban feeling, you can have that too. You can basically have both types of colleges or universities on the same campus. So a lot of really good opportunities there, and especially for careers and internships, being in the Twin Cities is huge for that. All right, and if I can get my slide to get going, there we go. So a little bit about our admissions process. So we use a pretty simple admissions process. We don't require essays or letters of recommendation. We simply require that you apply using either Common App or Golden Gopher app. You can do so from November 1st all the way through January 1st, or sorry, I should say August 1st, because that's when it opens up online. We need your self-reported grades. We also are test optional for this coming fall, so you can choose to send us an ACT or SAT score if you like. The other thing that's really great about our application process is that all students who are admitted to the University of Minnesota are automatically considered for all of our academic and merit-based scholarships. You do not have to submit additional forms or applications in order to be considered. And we do have a grouping of scholarships specifically for out-of-state residents here on the Twin Cities campus. So if you're looking for any of that out-of-state aid, we have a pretty good amount here on our campus. So that's what I have for you. Like I said, there's a lot to cover in such a big school, but if you have questions, feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact information in the chat for y'all. But just great to be with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, if we could have all the representatives join us on camera, I'm going to quickly share my screen and we will just do one question from the Q&A. So in the order that you presented, if you'd like to share one interesting or fun fact about your school, we will start with Macalester College.
Hi. So one fact, and you'll definitely would see it if you were able to go on campus, is right in the middle of campus, we have a rock, just a big boulder that sits there, and it's definitely a staple of the school because students will just paint it randomly about kind of what's going on seasonally. My favorite was when it was painted a pumpkin. It just kind of brightens up your day.
Love that. Up next, we have St. Mary's University of Minnesota.
Yeah, I think our fun fact is, so our students get into free for not only just our sporting event, they also get in for free for our like theater productions, and our theater on campus actually is owned by the city of Winona. So we do student productions, but we also get like fun traveling shows that come through that students can go to. So that's pretty cool.
Love that. All right, next up is Southwest Minnesota State University.
So my fun fact, it talks about our football team. So at the start of every football game, we actually have a live Mustang that runs out on the field ahead of the football team. And it's always a crowd pleaser, super fun to get to see that every week.
Wow. St. Olaf College, you're up next.
Taylor stole my thunder. Mine is football related as well. Northfield is actually the hometown of the Malto-Meal cereal company. So our football rivalry game with Carleton College is called the Cereal Bowl. The winner of the Cereal Bowl gets to march to downtown's town square and turn the eagle statue towards their campus.
And a lifetime of free cereal?
I wish.
Okay, up next we have University of Minnesota Morris.
So our fun fact at the University of Minnesota Morris is that as of last summer, We are officially carbon neutral on electricity because of our 2 wind turbines and our solar panels that we have on campus. Sustainability is a really, really big deal for us here at Morris.
Wow. Very cool. And University of Minnesota, Twin Cities.
Yeah, so I always like to plug some of the cool research that our students and our faculty do here on campus. If you've ever eaten a Honeycrisp apple, that was invented by one of our faculty members here in the Department of Horticulture, and he actually taught one of my classes. So that was one of the things that I always think is great. You have these really awesome faculty who are doing pretty great things that they want to involve you with. So yeah.
Very cool. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time to do so. After you close this window, you will have a quick survey, very quick 4-question survey will appear. We would really appreciate if you add that to your list of things to do. We will also have a recording available. Whoopsie, go back here. Have a recording available at strivescan.com/SSDA. We are done with sessions for the day, but you can always go back and watch sessions on demand. So feel free to visit that same website. Really big thank you to our panelists for joining us and for sharing so much cool information about your institutions. And thank you all for coming and watching and learning more. So have a wonderful rest of your day and take care, everybody.